In this video, we're discussing lab tests. These are beginner lab tests. So I know we discussed in the beginning of the Introduction to Biomedical series, doing, what do we call it? In lab medical investigations, but I want to get like a little bit further in the lab tests because I don't think we covered like a lot of them. So let's get into it. We're gonna go right into it. We're not gonna beat around the bush. Okay. So the first, okay, write these down. A heavy metals test, right? A food sensitivities test, the oat test, any genetic testing, the MTHFR gene test, the FRAT test. If I miss any, I'll say it. But those, I get asked this question a lot. What are some of the tests that, and the vitamins deficiencies. I know I was forgetting something. The vitamins deficiencies test, okay? I'm going to discuss in another video contributing factors to speech delay and autism, right? It's not, all our kids' delays weren't caused by the same thing. So I feel like when we figure, and I feel like I said this in another video too, when we figure out what's contributing to their delays or their challenges, then it's easier to go about managing them. Let's use the word manage, right? So a vitamins deficiencies panel is something that you want to do. So let's get into it. What did I say first? It doesn't matter. Heavy metals test. You want to do a heavy metals test if your child has impaired cognitive or neural functions. And I'm reading from my biomedical blueprint. If you like a copy, I'll put the my website down in the details, okay? And we're on the lab test page. You see how pretty it is? I like it, right? So heavy metals test. It identifies heavy metal toxicity like lead, mercury, arsenic, aluminum, all of those. Lead and mercury being the main ones. It's either hair or urine test. And that's for heavy metals. A lot of functional doctors tend to run heavy metals tests. I've heard though recently, let's get into it a little bit. I've heard that they don't want to run them in New York. What's going on in New York? Enlighten my ignorance. Why can't, and I know that the online test, like if you buy it online, you can't do it if you're in New York. I'm not sure why. Is it like a state thing? Like what's going on? I really want to know. So my parents in New York, if you're seeing this, if you're a functional doctor, say they can't do a heavy metal test, they're not jerking you around. They really can't, for some weird reason. But I feel like it's very important to know if your child has a high toxic load, because then, I mean, you can do whatever else you want, but if their lead levels are super high or through the roof, you know what I'm saying? Without me saying it, we're going to have to figure out a way so I can say things without being scared. Okay, anyway. Genetic testing. I've heard a lot of people, almost, I'm going to say, like a good 85% of the moms that I've encountered who's done genetic testing found no genetic link to their child's autism. I'm going to say that again. I haven't met everybody in the world, but the ones in my community that I've had the pleasure of working with or speaking to, a good 85% of them have found no genetic link. After testing, these are the ones that tested, not the ones that didn't run the test. After testing, they have found no genetic link to their child's autism. But anyway, let's get into it. Fragile X testing. The MTHFR that I mentioned, a lot of kids on the spectrum, they do have the MTHFR gene. My son doesn't, but a lot of kids do. It's not a gene that says, oh, your child has autism, because you can have the MTHFR gene and not be on the spectrum. But a lot of kids on the spectrum has a gene, if that makes sense, right? And chromosomal micro... I hate saying this word. I'm not saying it. Can I spell it out? I'm putting it in the comments. Is that okay? that word. And it identifies genetic abnormalities or syndromes. So that's why you want to do these testings. Who do you go to get these testings done? A neurologist. You can go to a what are they called? A most of the people that get genetic testing done, it's a neurologist. I'll say a neurologist. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'll say a neurologist. What else do we talk about? We talk about the O test. So the O test, if your child's having behavioral problems, lack of energy, or need detoxification. Ignore my son, y'all. And it basically points out, or that's not the right word. An O test takes a look at abnormal levels of organic acids, and a whole it basically tells what's going on. I mean, all the tests tells what's going on in your body. So what am I saying? No, duh. Does this have to be uncut? The only reason why these videos are uncut is because I can't edit. Hold on, y'all. Let's get into I want to get a little bit more into O test so you guys can have a better understanding. But I don't want to say the wrong thing. Okay. Okay. Hold on, y'all. This is in real time. No, that's not it. Okay, let's do this. Organic acid test. I just said that. Okay, so it looks for bacteria. Yeah, so mostly bacteria. It analyzes the gut microbe imbalance, such as bacteria, candida, and mold. Okay, but mold you can do let me see. I don't want to say the wrong thing, so let me not. But that's basically what the O does. A lot of people that do the O test, their kids always come back positive for candida. Always positive for like some bacteria. So a lot of MAPS doctors, and we discussed the different types of doctors, right? A lot of MAPS doctors, after getting the results back for this test, usually put their kids on like some type of antibiotics to try and combat whatever bacteria they find. A lot of functional doctors, they kind of take the natural route out. I don't think it's a right or wrong way for each, or like whatever works for your child, as long as you get it taken care of, it's fine in my book. Like, whatever you think is best for you. So we did the genetic test and heavy metals, the O test. Vitamins deficiencies panel basically tells what's going on in your body. But I want to know what I'm deficient in, because what I'm deficient in can tell, is a telltale to like certain issues I may be having and I'm not even aware of, because I didn't know it was a deficiency to a vitamin. So say I'm, for instance, I'm depressed. Oh, I apologize. I may not be depressed. I may just need, I may be lacking some vitamin D3. You never really know. I'm just saying. So, a vitamins and minerals deficiencies panel, I think, is very important, and that also tells, like, just in case you need to supplement, because a lot of kids are picky eaters, it also tells what you need to supplement with, or what you need, so you don't do it blindly, you do it appropriately. So that's why that's important. Now, IgE or IgG food test. Now, you can go to an allergist and do allergy testing, which I do recommend you do, pretty early on, just so we don't have any run-ins with any like allergic reactions with your kids. But a food sensitivity test it's a little more intricate. So my son does not have, what's that thing called, the people with the gluten, they celiac disease, but he does have a gluten sensitivity, and it disrupts his digestive system. Now, allergy test probably wouldn't pick it up, but a food sensitivity test did, and that's the importance of a food sensitivity test. It also contributed to his behavior as well, believe it or not. So I feel like a food sensitivity test is probably one of the first tests that your doctor would probably look into running. And that's just like an overview of the tests the lab test. If you want more information on lab tests, I think we should probably do like a follow-up video of like lab tests that people don't talk about. Like, we should do that, right? But this video is essentially going over the initial labs that you should ask a functional doctor or a MAPS doctor to run on your autistic child. If you like this video, please press the little thumbs up. It takes nothing to press. Okay? And if you found the information in this video informative, please share. If you want to share back to me, you can share back to me. I love y'all. Bye.